blockchain as a triple entry accounting system, provide efficiency and transparency. Antifragile Fund is a venture fund that focuses on companies that can withstand economic stress, and not only withstand it, but actually grow stronger out of it. We focus on single owners because they're the ones that are probably the least attractive to banks.
You're more focused on not the value of that property and the debt behind it, but rather the profitability and the cash flow behind it generates. Okay, all right, I've got you on here now on my Zoom call. Lyon, it's great to meet you.
Likewise.
So, we were just chatting on LinkedIn. I'm just kind of going through like some of the things that we were talking about. It looks like Sandsbank, that's right, yeah, Sandsbank.io.
That's right. It's one of our portfolio companies.
.io. That's right. I was looking through them. I watched their YouTube explainer video, strategic partners, DigiShares, Warwick, and Sperry Recapital.
Yep.
Okay. Nice. Let's see. Let me go back here real quick. I have a couple of questions. So, what? How did you get into this industry of tokenizing real estate debt, Lyon?
Yeah, I run a venture operating company, and one of the clients came and asked us to help them develop a tokenized real estate company, and that's how I ended in there. That was about 2 years ago.
Oh, okay, so a couple years ago. So has that been like? Were you in crypto before that, or was this brand new to you?
This was new to me, and it was a foray into crypto and blockchain. And to me, I was a novice. I'd heard about the Bitcoin surge, and I remember thinking at 5,000, should I get in? And then I said, yeah, nah, it's a fad, and how wrong I was. And then this opportunity opened up itself, and we ended up getting really into blockchain of all kinds, and really figuring out how to use the blockchain as a triple entry accounting system to provide efficiency and transparency to clients. And here we sit today.
When you say a triple entry accounting system, are you talking about like the open ledger system that makes it easy for accounting, or?
That's right. Well, I'm really thinking about accounting as a whole is, take any given corporation, company, whatever. You enter debits and credits, and then you need a third-party person to verify that you did it right. What the blockchain does and allows you to do is get rid of that middleman and really have DeFi in accounting, and have full transparency, knowing that every entry has been verified through a process of verification through the blockchain. So it's secure, and it's accurate, and it's traceable to the first entry.
Gotcha.
Really fantastic.
So there's that middleman you cut out, which is also a cost, right? It's an additional cost that you get to cut out, because now validators can do that.
100%. So it's cost in terms of actual work of validating, but it's also a savings in terms of time and efficiency.
Gotcha. So has this fund launched yet, or is it still just in the prepping phase?
This Sandsbank is actually an alternative lending platform where we offer $100 tokens to everyday investors, backed up by commercial real estate. And we're in the midst of a seed round on it, and we're building as we raise funds as well. Our other company is the fund, which is BoCG Ventures. That is an anti-fragile fund that invests in portfolio companies such as Sandsbank.
And what's an anti-fragile fund? Like, explain that.
Anti-fragile fund is a venture fund that focuses on companies that can withstand a economic stress, and not only withstand it, but actually grow stronger out of it. Take, for instance, what's it called? Groceries. That's anti-fragile. Whenever something happens in the economy, people still need to eat, and whether you're locked up in your house or if you're anywhere else, you're going to have to eat. So we focus on developing companies that are anti-fragile, that can withstand a black swan event and get stronger from it.
Okay, is that mainly focused in real estate, anti-fragile funds in real estate, or is that, because I see Sandsbank is a lending platform mostly all for real estate, right? Is that all real estate?
Commercial real estate with multifamily units. That's okay. Sandsbank, but we operate in all verticals. We don't care about what your industry is. We think that blockchain can create almost any business or make any business into an anti-fragile company, because if it's transparent and it's efficient and it saves money, we believe that blockchain is the next internet, boom that happened early in the 2000s. So it's not a matter of if, it's when everybody starts adopting it.
So with your platform, the commercial real estate lending platform, people can take or purchase, is it shares of debt then?
That's correct.
Okay.
We tokenize the profitability of a property. So let's say you have $100,000 in profits over per year. We tokenize that $100,000 and let people participate in that $100,000.
Okay, so this would be different than a TIC, like a tenant common.
Yeah.
Because a tenant common would be like more ownership of the actual real estate asset, and this is ownership of the debt that creates the cash flow, right?
Right. So think about it this way: you own a property, Ryan, and it's generating that $100,000, and you are in Miami. Recall the devastation when a couple of years ago that building collapsed, and as a result of that, the city of Miami implemented a rule that said everybody has to reinforce their foundations and whatnot. And let's say, Ryan, that you don't have that capital, and in order to get that capital to do the strengthening of the foundation, you would have to go and borrow money or refinance your property or some other form of lending. And let's say for sake of argument that you don't qualify for that. Your only option is to sell your property because you can't afford to do what the city is requiring you to do. So in comes Sandsbank and we say, hey, we know that you're cash flowing, we know you're profitable, so we will give you 50% of your profitability right now, and you pick between 3, 5, and 10-year holds, and depending on those terms that you select, we tokenize the profitability and sell it to individual investors at $100 a token. You get, as a property owner, the money to repair your foundation, and the investors earn between 4 and 12% interest on their money annually.
Okay. Backed and secured by real estate.
Correct.
And so, how does that work with title, like encumbering a property, when there's like a lien? How does that work?
First lien is generally with the lender, or the mortgage company, let's say Bank of America or some other Ameritrust or somebody like that. And we take a second lien position, but and we have a intercreditor contract with the share stakeholders, and we only get paid after the mortgage is paid. So if you were to categorize the expenses, you have revenue come in, You take out your operating expenses, you pay your mortgage, and then Sands Bank gets paid, and the investors, and it flows through to the investors, and then the remaining profit goes to the property owner.
Okay, so let's say I have an apartment building, it's cash flowing, and I need to do some repairs on it, and I can't get traditional financing from my bank with like a cash out refinance or some sort of equity line. I would, in many cases, let's say if it was a big fix, like you were mentioning the Miami I think it was a hotel or apartment.
Yep.
You know, the option would be to sell, which is not really a good option for investors because they want to hang on to the asset.
Right.
So I could then say, well, if they're not going to do a cash out refi for me or give me some sort of line of credit or business line or something, I can go to sandsbank.io, submit my application with them, and then a group of investors could come in and say, yeah, well, we want, whatever that advertised rate of return is for them to finance that debt, correct?
That's correct. And that happens within 2 weeks. You could be funded and have the money and do whatever you do with it. There's no restrictions on what you do with the cash because we use the profitability of the company, of the property as the collateral.
Okay. What kind of hiccups would one expect if they were submitting an application and going through that process? Like, first of all, what would the process look like, and then what kind of hiccups could occur?
Good deal. Yeah, absolutely, great question. So we do everything online. So you submit your details on our website. We simulate what your cash advance, what type of cash advance you're eligible for. You select the term 3, 5, or 10 years, and based on that, we issue a cash advance estimate. And if you do a 3-year tokenization term, for instance, we would take your 100,000 in my example as profit, and multiply that by 3, divide it by 2, because we're only tokenizing 50% of your profit, and you would have a cash advance base of $150,000 that you are eligible for. If you then say, yes, I'm ready to proceed, you click yes, then we will ask you for supporting details, and you can either connect through our Plaid app, where we have API to your bank account. We do all the underwriting due diligence on your behalf, and if everything checks out, we sign the contract and agreement, and we send an inspector to your property just to make sure that it's there. It's not really an appraisal because we don't care about the value of the company or property. We only care about the profitability. So we want to make sure that it's standing, you have tenants in there, and it's not about ready to fall off the face of the earth, and you have insurance. And if all of that checks, then we issue the cash advance after our tokenization process. The whole process takes between 1 and 2 weeks, depending on the speed of submitting the underlying documents.
Gotcha. Who would be like an ideal customer? Like apartment owners? You mentioned commercial property. Is there a specific niche that gravitates more towards this type of financing?
100%. We are looking at 5 to 50 unit commercial real estate properties that are multifamily. So generally speaking, what we've noticed is the under $1 million loan market seems to be underserved, and we are the ones that can serve that market. And we think that we don't go for people that are, or properties that are managed by large corporations, but rather single owner 5 to 50 unit properties.
Okay, single owner 5 to 50. And why single owner? Is it because it's difficult to deal with, let's say, a property with multiple owners, like a tenant in common kind of
Not at
deal?
all. In general, those already can get better deals through their banks. So, generally speaking, we see a lot of property owners like ex or retired military come in. They invest in their first commercial real estate property. Let's say it's a 5 to 10 unit property. They're at 70% leverage, debt to equity. They can't get a refi, and they want either to buy another property or they want to make improvements to the current one, and they just don't qualify for a loan from another bank because of the high debt ratio. That's really why we focus on single owners, because they're the ones that are probably the least attractive to banks after they've issued their first mortgage to them.
Okay, and that kind of bypasses the loan to value issue, because you had mentioned you're more focused on not the value of that property and the debt behind it, but rather the profitability and the cash flow behind what that property generates.
That's 100% correct.
Cool. Cool. So strategic partners, DigiShares. DigiShares and Oric. How did you? So how long ago did you guys start this? I know you said a couple of years ago you were introduced to this, but when did you launch?
We launched the company. We actually signed the agreement to start working on it in, I think, May 2021. We had been looking at alternative solutions around real estate lending and blockchain. But this was May 2021, we really started putting pen to pencil and working on developing Sandsbank.
Gotcha. Is this is this your only project that you're working on, or do you have other projects that you're working on?
We have several other projects we're working on, and they span industries. We have a anti-fragile wellness project as well. And then I have a bunch of other industries that I'm not allowed to disclose.
Okay. And just for people that are able to see this, or to watch this, it's sansbank.io, sansbank.io.
That's correct.
And I'm on your site, so there's a frequently asked questions on here. Can I pay off the advance early? Yes or no prepayment fees? Oh, one question I did want to ask is origination fees. So let's say I figured you guys would be a good option, and I'm approved for the financing. What kind of origination fees should I expect?
It's actually on a sliding scale based on the loan amount, but it starts at 9% and goes down as low as 4% of the cash advance loan, and it's baked into the cash advance payment. So that's how that works.
Okay. And then there's a question on here. This must be the frequently asked questions. Will this conflict with my original lender? It says no. We will have a waiver of agreement to ensure there are no conflicts. So basically, they just have to subordinate.
That's right.
Okay. Simple as that.
We're subordinate to the mortgage, and then that's it.
Okay. Gotcha. And it doesn't have anything to do with credit checks?
We don't. Our method of collateralization is we verify like I mentioned, the cash flow and the profitability, not only NOI, but the actual net income of the property. And then what we do is we have a simulation that runs a simulation on the area that the property sits in to ensure that future stability of the property's rental income remains proper.
Okay. And real quick, I'm actually going to share my screen so that people watching will be able to get an idea of what the site looks like. Here we go. So you have a page here for products, join the decentralized movement. Kind of explains everything in here.
There's also an explainer video on there under the home. Oh, if you click on the owl in the left corner, there's a video there as well. So you don't have to like hit right here. What is Sandsbank? So you don't have to listen to my beautiful explanation, but this is more laid out.
That's cool. In less than 2 minutes, just they get the meat of it. I like that.
We like sweet and to the point at Sandsbank.
Yeah, it's very simple, very easy site to understand exactly what it is you guys do. Well, what questions am I supposed to be asking that I don't know about? Like what am I not asking that I should be asking you?
You're not asking how people can get involved with Sandsbank. So, like I mentioned, is we are in the midst of a seed raise. We're building the technology on the back end at the same time as we're generating interest in the property or in the solution. So if you have listeners that are interested and think this is a great idea, do feel free to reach out to us directly. And if you are an investor that thinks you've been left out of the commercial real estate play and the wealth play in the commercial real estate, you can get on our newsletter and submit as interested in our $100 tokens. And once we have the first property up and running, we will give you a call or send you an email and see if you want to participate.
Great. And for additional resources, people that are watching the screen share right here, you can go to the fact, the contact, and then also follow them on LinkedIn and Twitter for additional updates. Well, I think this is pretty awesome. You're basically tokenizing the debt in real estate, and you're bringing more market cap to the overall crypto industry, which is great. Bringing more market cap to crypto.
That's right. And making sure that people understand that crypto and blockchain are not necessarily synonymous. Blockchain is the underwriting it's the building block of cryptocurrency. And, we're trying to figure out and show that blockchain is the infrastructure needed for an anti-fragile future where we don't have dips and booms all after each other.
Gotcha. Well, do you have any questions for me?
No, I really think this is awesome. So it seems like you know a bunch about blockchain and the crypto space in general, and I really appreciate you reaching out to me about Sandsbank.
You bet. I appreciate this, Lyon. This has been very, very helpful
for us as well. Thank you so much.